Ugh. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Mason Greenwood. Now, this should not even be a thing. This should be very fucking simple. However, for whatever reason, it is not simple. And people and companies have got a very strange way of looking at things. And I'm going to fucking talk about it because it is outstanding to me how this is still a debate. Mason Greenwood should have absolutely no right to be anywhere near the top level of football. Full stop. Mason Greenwood, despite the video, the images, and most importantly, the audio, has still got a large amount of supporters and may not just be random people on Twitter or on Instagram, but most importantly, he's still being clung onto by the board at Manchester United. And for fans at his current club in Getafe are willfully supportive of him. Now I need to get one thing straight here. We all know the situation. We all know the accusations on hand. We all know the evidence that's been put up. Now let's talk about the evidence. And there's a reason why I don't really speak of images or the video, because you never know. Something could happen. Right, but the audio is 100% conclusive fact that he, in that audio, that was him. That was all him. And that is 100% evidence. This wasn't AI or some bollocks. This is before that even was a thing. And that can go alongside and match with the story and the other images and video put forward that people still like to say isn't real. Because photos could have makeup on or whatever. Okay, but the audio absolutely is proper. The audio absolutely is him. So let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about the situation. I, myself, as a person in the footballing world and a person, I can't support Mason Greenwood. I can't forgive Mason Greenwood. The reason why is because he's given me no reason to. And you may say, well, who am I? Who am I to ask of any forgiveness? Well, if you are someone that's in the public space and a very public setting and a very serious situation that's been put out in a public arena, and you are a footballer, a very high status person with not only a lot amount of wealth and finances, but most importantly, status to young children, then yes, I do also believe that the fans, not just me, you, anyone watching this video, should also be put in a situation to ask your own moral compass. Do you want him anywhere near your club? Do you want him anywhere near football? He's given us, myself, no reason to believe that he has changed one bit. Not one interview, not one question. Nothing suggests that he has changed in any way whatsoever. No apology, no speaking about it, just throw it under the rug and hopefully people will forget about it. Well, until you give me a reason to believe that you have changed in any way, then I will believe that nothing has changed at all, and the situation remains the same. Now, here's a counterpoint. Hey, well, his partner has forgiven him, and she's also carrying his child. Well, if she's forgiven him, then that's all that matters. And look, absolutely, she is the most important person in the situation. Absolutely, you are right with that. However, when a very serious situation gets put out in the public arena, the public has a right to have their opinion on it. And that's what a lot of people have. And again, we've all heard of Stockholm Syndrome. Go and look it up if you so wish. And you may be asking, why am I bringing this up? Well, because it's going to be the transfer window again, and the questions will be brought up again. What are Manchester United going to do with him? Because he is still a contracted employee of Manchester United Football Club, who we all would have believed and hoped, but maybe not apparently, would be maybe beyond having someone with his history related to the football club, especially one that's not apologised or even confronted it whatsoever and hid from it. Anyone with the accusations and evidence, and I will say evidence as the audio is factual, anyone with that, you should not want to associate with whatsoever at your football club. And a club of the size of Manchester United should have nothing to do with it. Ignore the fact that he was once a decent player, which this year he has played for Getafe and he's been alright, I guess. I don't know. I've not seen his stats. I don't care about his stats. All I know is he's still at Man United and he's still a topic of conversation every single week. According to The Athletic, Lazio is one of a number of clubs that wants Mason Greenwood. The other clubs involve Juventus, Napoli, including clubs in Germany, Spain and Portugal, monitoring the situation about Mason Greenwood. Greenwood was allegedly reported to be put back in the first team squad at United, and of course they U-turned on this and decided to not let him go completely, but to do it on loan, basically kicking the can down the road, and now we're doing the same conversation again. According to David McDonough from the Daily Mirror, the Manchester United football correspondent, he put out an article saying that Man United will be prepared to welcome Mason Greenwood into their training camp if they don't sell him within the next 14 days. United starts training on July the 8th, and if he is not injured or sold or put out on loan in the next 2 weeks, then he will be training with Manchester United. You also want to know one important reason why I'm doing this is because this isn't just a thing by, Lagos Twitter is what's the meme nowadays, which even that's just insane by itself. There's of course a massive cultural divide, it does appear, online when it comes to how people read the situation, which is just maddening to me. But even on the higher ups, even by ex-players, and this is why Rio Ferdinand did a piece, like I just said, a little game thing of who to keep or sell at United, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, right? And they listed every player, and one of them was indeed Mason Greenwood, and this was his response.
Greenwood.
Ooh. I'd need a conversation with him as well, see where his head's at, find out the temperature around the club. I'd probably even have a communication with the right supporters groups as well. I think it's a real club decision rather than just one single person decision.
And last one, Hoyland.
Keep.
So, this appears to be the kind of line of logic with a lot of the people at United, the higher ups. I get it. He's been at the club, from a young age, right? For many of these people, they're friends with him. Maybe they think that he was a great kid or whatever. He had a great future ahead of him. And maybe some are clinging on to the fact that, they don't want his career and everything to be thrown away because of this mistake. Whatever mistake it could be. It's a very serious mistake. Serious fucking mistake. And the main thing is, people will say, but the case was closed. The case, he was found, it was found innocent. He wasn't found innocent. In October 2022, Greenwood was charged with some very serious things, and the charges was dropped 5 months later. He wasn't found innocent or guilty. Witnesses dropped from the case. In court, a combination of the withdrawal of key witnesses and new material meant there were no longer a realistic prospect of conviction. That new material could be also an important thing. New material that would be great to also know. What was that new material? Genuinely, if you're a United fan, right, what should mean more to you? If he's a good player or not a good player, which I don't think he will be anymore, to be fair, let's be honest here. But let's say that he is a good player, right? What matters more, winning or what your club is meant to represent? If you are a female, United supporter, what are you meant to get out of the situation? If you're a part of the United's women's team or anyone that works at the club, how are you meant to respond back to this information? And again, the first step towards any of this is if Greenwood talks about it. If he actually gives me any reason to believe that he's a changed man. Because I've seen nothing. He may show me a picture of him smiling on his Instagram or something, but that means nothing to me. I want to hear him talk like a human being and see, has he actually changed in any way? What has happened since then? What does she think about it? Just anything. And these freaks online that willingly supports him. And it's not even like they're just really, really they just wish for the best, that or maybe he's completely changed his ways and they're so in love and I wish that they would think like this, but they don't. Most of these people just genuinely just do not like women. They're scared of women. They're terrified of them, and they think they're all evil and out to get them. It's just baffling to me because, again, give me a reason to believe that anything has changed. Because if nothing has been said nothing has come out, then for me the situation remains the same. And maybe he's a good person now. Okay, cool. Show it to me. Say something. Because as far as I'm concerned, staying silent changes nothing for me and just keeps on kicking the can down the road until eventually we got to confront the goddamn elephant in the room here, boys. So, as it stands, Mason Greenwood, if he's not sold in the next 2 weeks, will be a United player in the pre-season. Maybe. But of course, this is such a unique and very sensitive situation that it'll probably just be delayed until eventually be out on loan. But I just think it should be such a simple situation. Good player or not, or beliefs change or not, it should be nothing to do with Manchester United Football Club, who should be one of the shining lights in England. Simple as that, really. And if you think he's a good player or not, cool, great. That should not be what your club's about. It shouldn't be. So that's my thoughts on it. Tell me down below what yours is. See ya.